Hello everyone, this is Sidrian here, and today I'm going to be doing another video, sort of like the last one that I did where I was AI generating Wings of Fire tribes. This time I'm going to be doing something similar, but instead of generating the tribes, I'm going to be generating the characters themselves. So like Clay, Glory, Tsunami, etc. So without further ado, let's get started. And yeah, there's going to be some information about the AI tool, so if you want to skip that, I'll put a timestamp on screen. But the AI tool that I'm going to use is Hotpot AI, and this is completely free to use for anyone. You can just access it through Google and just generate things freely without any extra charge or fees or anything like that. So it's absolutely amazing to use it. And sometimes it does require you to log in or create an account if you're generating like images of children for some reason. But yeah, otherwise you can do it without an account for free, zero cost. So yeah, that's pretty good. And yeah, anyways, let's get started. So first we're going to be doing Clay, and I'm going to be using the descriptions from the Wings of Fire wiki. And since the descriptions from the Wings of Fire wiki are pretty long, I'm going to be shortening some of them. So my description for Clay is a muscular, burly, and stocky dragon with a sloping back, a thick, long, lengthy neck, a large, broad head, and white teeth. Large, fire-resistant, mud-colored scales, warm brown in the shades of rich mahogany and tree bark, along with undertones of glowing amber, clay, and gold glinting between and beneath his scales. And then, this is the picture that they gave us, which I think that this is a pretty good picture because it has the nice brown colors that I mentioned earlier, and it has the nice, thick, armored scale and the broad head. So I think it did a relatively good job with this one. And yeah, I'm going to be rating this off of accuracy towards what I gave in. Because of course, they're not going to look like how we would imagine these dragons because we have our beautiful Joy Ang visuals given to us. But the AI doesn't know that, so it can't think of that like how we do. And that's the thing about art and characters and stories. It's that everyone can interpret them in their own way. That's like if you read a story and then a movie is made out of it, you're like, oh my god, I didn't imagine it like that. Because the person who made the movie thought of the story in a different way that you did. So that's really cool. Anyways, let's move on to Tsunami. For Tsunami, we have a dragon with dark, deep, royal blue scales like sapphires that have pale emerald gleam flecks underneath them and shimmer like cobalt glass and torchlight. Sharp white teeth, blue talons, a long neck and tail, and large translucent green eyes. Azure blue wings, the color of the sea, that have starbursts shaped like webbed talon prints beneath them. And this is what they gave us. I actually really like the picture of Tsunami. It's kind of bothering me because the horns are like a lighter white color instead of like a darker color, like how they are in the Joy Ang visual. But once again, it's just a different interpretation. I really like how this picture of Tsunami has her overscales as blue and then her underscales as green. I think that's very interesting. And I like how, I don't think we mentioned her having a like fierce expression, but I like how it gave her a fierce expression anyway, because that Tsunami, she's our fierce little girly. Yes! This is a very good picture of Tsunami. I really like it. Next, we have Glory, and we have a dragon with green eyes and brilliant color-changing scales that are dull and mossy. She has soft wings, feathery ears, a long body, tail, neck, and a long, delicate snout. She is often considered very beautiful and elegant. Dark emerald green scales and flares of orange around her ears and the undersides of her wings. And this is the picture that they gave us. I think this one is very cute. I don't know why it made it so small, because like you can see it on top of that log. It's like smaller than the log is, like those little tiny dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. But I think this looks very nice because once again it has like the orange underscales and the green overscales and the orange underneath the wings, which is really nice. But then also we have number one, AI inconsistency. I just saw that when I was looking down at the feet. On one of the talons, we have the 4 claws, and then on another talon, we have the 5 claws. Another thing with AI is that it's not entirely perfect because, of course, it is the computer generating it, not like an actual human. So sometimes it's kind of iffy. Like earlier today, I was generating these people riding on horses, and one of the horses had like 5 legs. So, yeah. And also the accuracy on this one is a little bit less than Clan Tsunami. Like I said specifically, right at the front of the paragraph, green eyes, and it gave us orange eyes. But I mean, that's okay. We gotta give it some grace. So, yeah. Moving on, we have Starflight, our little boy. A dragon with midnight black scales with glints of purple and deep blue in them. The silver scales on the underside of his back wings spray outward like a splash of water. He has a black snout and claws, as well as sinewy, I've never heard of that word before, sinewy shoulders and a worried snout. The space between his wings is narrow, and he is not very burly. So, this is our picture of Starflight. I feel like they added a lot more purple than I mentioned, because I don't think, well, yeah, it says glints of purple. Never mind. Well, it has lots of purple, but not as much blue. So, yeah. But I think it looks very, very interesting. I like how it looks very, like, dark and mysterious, and it kind of has that, like, galaxy feel, like how it did when we generated the other ones. So, yeah. And his red eye is kind of bothering me, but whatever. I don't think we mentioned what color his eyes were. I think his eyes are green in the books, but it didn't say anything about it in this piece of the wiki. Moving on, we have Sunny, and we have a dragon with tawny, unusually bright, golden yellow scales that have been described to look like rippled sunshine. Ooh. She has golden wings, talons, and ears, a small head, snout, and claws, and moss-colored gray-green eyes. Very small. She also has a perpetually cheerful expression. So, this is Sunny. I really like how they gave her the cheerful expression because she looks so happy in this picture. Aww. And I do like how they made her have like golden colored scales instead of just like the really grotesque yellow color. And I like how her eyes are more yellow than green, but they're still like kind of green looking, like sort of lime greenish. I don't know. Pretty good, pretty good. We'll continue on to the Jade Mountain Academy students, and we'll start off with Moonwatcher. We have a small dragon with cool, smooth, shiny, purplish black scales that are imbued with hints of dark blue and green. She has one glittering silver scale on the outside corner of each of her dark green eyes, like a teardrop about to fall. These scales are big and shiny. She has powerful muscles and black wings. That's kind of interesting because I don't think Moon would be a very muscular dragon, but whatever. I think this one looks very interesting. I think this is the first one that we've had both of the tribes, so I think Starflight looked like more Nightwing than this one does. Because I know Tui likes to give them these like strange colors underneath their scales, but I feel like this just makes them look way too like oversaturated with colors. But I don't know. Considering that all these details about the colors were in the wiki description, this is pretty accurate to that, so I'll give it some grace. Next, we have Winter, one of my favorite dragons. And we have a dragon that is shiny, silvery, and immaculate, with smooth, untouched, glittering, pale blue scales, the color of a frozen lake. I love that metaphor. His scales have also been described to appear silver, icy blue, and snow white, like overlapping shards of ice that become darker along his spine and the edges of his wings. Lots of good similes in this one. And yeah, this is a really good picture. I love how like silvery and blue it is, and how like tall it is too. It has a very mighty presence to it. And I do like how it had the lake in the background, like how I mentioned in the description. The overlapping shards of ice on the lake. Now we have our one and only Fire Scales Peril, who is a dragon with unusually bright, incandescent, glowing, shimmering, copper-colored, fiery, metallic, orange scales that emit smoke and heat, giving her the appearance of burning from the inside. Smoke also seems to be coming from her mouth. She has a long, pointed tail, with veins of gold running through her shimmering copper wings. Pretty good description. I love how they're using so many commas in these. Like, how many commas can you use in a sentence without it being just like, oh, I don't know. But this is our picture of Peril, and I absolutely love this one. This one might be one of my favorites of all of them, because I love how bright and like shiny it is, but I also love how it has like the dark colors, like the blacks and like the browns, because it does in the books describe her so much as copper. Like, if there's one word I can use to describe Peril from the books, it is copper, because like every time they're describing her, they use that word. I'm really glad that it has that copper collar, because that's very accurate to the description. And I do love how it looks like she is legitimately burning, because it has all that smoke rising up from her horns, and her mouth is like glowing with the fire. Now we are moving on. We have Turtle, Tsunami's brother, a dragon with unembellished, jewel-toned, dark, emerald green scales, with lighter green underscales and hints of gold in his dark green eyes. He is a little plump, with an extra curve to his snout and upper arms, and his large talons. He wears a weatherproof pouch around his neck and a golden armband studded with sparkling rocks. His bioluminescent scales emit a pale green light. So, this is Turtle. I really wish on either of the sea wings they would have gave us the bioluminescent scales, but I guess that would be pretty hard to describe if you didn't already know what they're supposed to look like, so I'll give it some grace for that. It does do a really good job though with like the jewel colors and like the emerald greens and all of that stuff. And yeah, I like all the gold because we mentioned the gold on his armbands and stuff, and how he has that curved snout. He could be more plump, like how it's in the description, but overall, pretty good. Now we have Keebly. We have a wiry and narrow-shouldered dragon with pale, light, sandy yellow scales and yellow wings. His snout is speckled with a few tiny dark brown freckles and has a small, rakish scar zigzagging across it. He wears a small, shiny, warm, gold hoop earring in his left ear that is hung with a warm, orange amber teardrop. He is scruffy and scrawny with sharp eyes. So this is Keebly. Keebly looks the weirdest to me because he looks the most like a lizard, which I know dragons are supposed to be lizards, but this one looks like such lizardy. Lizardy, I know that's a word, but I don't really know what else to say. Like that hole underneath his head where like his ear would be, like, ugh, and his eyes. I don't know. So I guess this does look like how Keebly would look because it has similar colors to him with like the nice gold colors and stuff. But yeah, the lizardness is just getting to me. I can't with it. Now we're going to move on to our Lost Continent crew, our secret stealth team. I don't know what we're going to call these people officially because we have the Dragoness of Destiny and the Jade Winglet, but we don't really have a name for these. We have Blue, a dragon with gem-like azure, bright morpho butterfly blue and lavender purple scales, with purple scales on his back, quiet lavender scales on his arms, azure talons, and a purple snout. His body glints with purple and aquamarine like buried jewels, and his wings shimmer purple and bright cerulean blue, like sapphires and violets tumbled together. Am I the only one who thinks that Blue should be named Purple instead? Because like they describe him so much as purple in the books that it's like, bro, this guy is purple. But yeah. Anyways, here's our picture of Blue/Purple because they did do him more purple than blue. I like how they have the purple on the top and then the blue on the bottom. I'm not really sure how it is in the books. I think it's just like a mixture of both. But I do like this design. I'm not really a huge fan of Blue's canon design from the books. So I think this design would probably be better. I don't know though. I think it's pretty accurate. I wish I could do the butterfly though, like how it's said in the description. Or at least try to. Give it some effort. Sorry for yawning, I'm really tired. Anyways, now we're moving on to Cricket, a dragon with buttercup yellow and orange gold scales described as similar to the color of the sun that are speckled with black scales to look like tiny ink blots. She has golden yellow talons, golden orange black wings, warm dark brown eyes, and a long neck. She is slightly small with small sharp claws and a curious open face. So I had to remove the leopard because earlier I had her like with a leopard face, which was like super creepy, and I was like, no, because it said like curious like a leopard or something like that. So this is her now, and she looks a lot better, even though she doesn't look like how we would imagine her. It's weird because the descriptions for the hive wings and for the hive winged dragons, neither of them say anything about bees or insects or anything like that. So the AI doesn't really know to make it into like an insect. So it just looks like a normal golden dragon. But I mean, that's fine. It's also weird that it didn't say anything in the description about her glasses. Maybe it did, but I cut it out because it was too long. I'm not sure. But maybe if she was wearing glasses, it would look more like Cricket. I don't know. Moving on to Sundew, we have a dragon with small and wiry shape and face. She also has dark forest green scales that reflect with gold. She has golden scales across the edges of her wings, talons, and across her snout. She wears several small pouches woven from long grass or fashioned from leaves, which contain venomous insects or useful plants. So this is Sundew. I really wish that they could have included the pouches once again. I think AI isn't really doing a good job with the accessories, but it did do a good job with her coloration. I like how we have the green. I like how we have the gold signature to Sundew. But I also wish that the gold had been more like incorporated instead of just like half and half, to have it like mixed together so it flows more naturally. I would have really liked that. And it didn't say anything about the wings being like leaves because I guess it just assumes since she's a leaf wing. But yeah, it'd probably look more like her if she had those nice leafy wings. Now we're moving on to Snowfall, our Pierian dragon in our Pantolin group. We have a large and regal dragon with shiny white scales. She has dark blue eyes and curved white wings. She formerly owned a heavy metal crown described as being too large for her head and weighing as much as a small polar bear. That's really heavy. It was studded with diamonds and metallic spikes that looked similar to icicles. She wears a pouch around her neck. And this is Snowfall. Once again, forgetting the accessories. Let's go. But they gave her this weird, like, diamond-studded armband around her wing, which I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, I think this one doesn't really look accurate, but it looks pretty interesting. Because it didn't say anything about having the, like, dark blue along her scales, even though I think there is, like, some hints of that in the book. And it gave her, like, this long mustache thing coming off of her chin, which is, like, really, really, really funny. And it gave her lots of gold, even though I don't think I mentioned any gold. But yeah, Snowfall. And last but not least, we have Luna, our book 15 protagonist. We have a dragon with pale, pearly, bright green scales that look like those of an elegant caterpillar that are lined with golden flecks along her back and tail. She has whorls of cobalt and gold in her wing buds and a pale green tail. She has pale green wings that look beautiful like cascading petals of green sunlight and has long, furling antennae and scales like sliced gems. So, here is Luna! And Luna looks surprisingly happy. I love how happy she looks. But I also love how they got the colors, like, really, really well. Like, the pale green and the nice, warm, creamy colored yellow. Lots of words. She really does have that, like, caterpillar-esque vibe, and that's just really good, so I think this one was pretty accurate. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video, so please let me know if you thought that the AI did a good job or a bad job in terms of accuracy to the Wings of Fire wiki description. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because I would love to hear them. And if you're not subscribed to me already, please do so. Hit that bell. You can get notified whenever I post a new video. Or if you're like me and you think that notifications are annoying, you can easily turn that off, but still support me, which would be really, really nice of you. Because I do post a lot of videos, and I am a really big waffle and fan wing, and I love Wings of Fire very, very much. So if you do too, we might be really good friends. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye. And I'll see you later. Adios.